For years, walking through the woods near town had been a quiet habit. Most people stayed on the main trail, but sometimes curiosity led deeper into the trees, where the forest grew thicker and the air felt still. One afternoon, while exploring an unfamiliar section, something unusual drifted through the air. A strange smell. At first, it was faint, almost sweet. But the longer it lingered, the more unsettling it became. With every step forward, the odor grew stronger. It wasn't the natural scent of flowers or pine. It was something heavy and sickening. Eventually, the source seemed close. Off the trail, about 10 feet away, a dense patch of tangled bushes and vines blocked the view of the ground beneath them. The smell was clearly coming from there. Pushing the branches aside revealed something no one ever expects to find in the woods. Beneath the leaves lay the body of a man. His skin was discolored, his body swollen, and time had clearly taken its toll. The sight was enough to make anyone stumble backward in shock. After a moment of trying to process what had just been discovered, the phone came out and the police were called. The officers asked for one thing: stay where you are until we arrive. Standing alone in the forest beside the body quickly became unbearable. The sun slowly sank below the trees, shadows stretched across the ground, and the quiet woods began to feel hostile. Flies buzzed endlessly around the corpse, and every sound in the distance seemed far too close. Eventually, the police arrived and confirmed what had happened. The man had taken his own life weeks earlier. That should have been the end of the story. But the memory didn't stay buried in the woods. For months afterward, the same nightmare kept returning. The clearing, the body on the ground, and then the moment when its eyes slowly opened. The late night drive. The drive home from the family reunion should have been simple. The roads were quiet, stretching through miles of trees and empty countryside. About 45 minutes into the trip, exhaustion suddenly hit hard. Eyes burned, concentration faded, and it became clear that continuing to drive might not be safe. After pulling off the road behind a line of bushes, the seat was reclined, and sleep came almost instantly. Sometime later, a faint sound broke the silence, scratching against the outside of the car. Half awake and barely thinking, it was easy to assume it was just an animal passing by. Nearly an hour later, the sound came back. This time it was louder, more deliberate. The scratching dragged slowly across the back of the car. A glance into the rearview mirror revealed something unsettling. A figure moving quickly away, disappearing into the darkness of the forest. Deciding to leave immediately felt like the only smart choice. As the car rounded a bend in the road, another vehicle came into view. It sat on the roadside with the driver's door hanging wide open. No lights, no movement. Just an empty car sitting silently in the dark. Then suddenly, a man appeared from behind the bend. He ran toward the car, waving his arms and screaming. His voice wasn't asking for help. It sounded aggressive and desperate. Instead of stopping, the accelerator was pressed down and the car sped away into the night. Warm summer nights often meant riding bikes around the neighborhood with friends. On this particular night, the streets were quiet and nearly empty. Close to midnight, the ride ended and it was time to head home alone. Just before reaching the street corner, someone appeared ahead on the sidewalk. A man walking slowly in the same direction. The path was too narrow to pass quietly, so a quick warning was called out. The man turned around, and the look on his face was pure anger. Without warning, the man began shouting. The yelling quickly turned into insults, and then threats. Loud, aggressive threats about killing someone he had only just seen. Looking back revealed the worst part. He was now following. Instead of riding straight home, the decision was made to circle the block and wait for the stranger to leave. The ride only took a couple minutes, but when the street came back into view, the sight waiting there was chilling. The man was standing on the front porch, silently staring toward the road. Stopping wasn't even an option. The bike kept moving until a friend's house was reached, where the night was spent instead. 2 days later, the bike that had been locked behind the house was gone. The lock cut clean through. Maybe it was coincidence, or maybe someone had been watching the house for longer than anyone realized.